Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a nice Saturday morning. Wanted to start out with just a quick couple of housekeeping things. First and foremost, since it actually directly pertains to the game we're playing today, Tsukihime, thought I would let you know this is going to be the last stream because plan to finish out the Arcade route today. I should have enough time. And I'm planning to do the CL route on my own time. Two biggest factors for this are that, A, apparently they actually care about, like, spoilers for the CL route, unlike the Arcade route, like, in terms of, like, streaming and stuff. And granted, you know, it's a Japanese company with streaming guidelines. I feel like no one's ever actually gotten hurt by those, but better safe than sorry. Also, namely, I have been enjoying the hell out of these streams. They've been a lot of fun, but they have also just, like, taken a lot longer than I would have liked. I've been on this game for a hot minute now, and I would like to be able to up the pace, especially when we get to the CL route, which I've been told is both longer and has a lot more new stuff, which I'm interested in seeing. So, unfortunately, probably going to stop after the Arcade route. Replacing this, going forward, we are going to be hopping in for, since I've been watching watch Digimon Adventure off stream. That's been fun. It's kind of been getting me into the world of Digimon, so we'll be checking out some Cyber Sleuth starting next week once we have a stream schedule put up, but that's for the future. But yeah, just keeping you aware, this will be our last, our last Tsukihime stream. Also, I don't know what the fuck kind of gas Type Moon decided to put in the engine just over the last day, because a week from now is Stay Night coming out in English, and they've also already confirmed Hollow Ataraxia. I might have teared up a little bit. I think both of those games are incredibly special experiences that, if you like visual novels, if you like just like stories in general, I think you owe it to yourself to give those a look. They are really kind of special experiences that only, like, the fact that you can get them legally, the fact that you can just buy them. You don't have to worry about, like, a fan translation or all the sinister stuff with, or not sinister, but, like, just how awkward, like, having to handle all the different patches and all that stuff can be. I feel like there was one other thing I wanted to say. What was it? Oh, yeah. Keep your eyes out. I'm probably going to be changing my username at some point here in the next few days. Stream assets will be updated to reflect that. And just thought I'd let you know, I really didn't care too much for my current username. It's literally just an amalgamation based on my last name, and I'd like something a bit more thought out, and not something that I honestly don't really care for that much. So yeah, just keep your eyes open. If my name suddenly changes, that's why. I'm changing it on purpose. So yeah, with that being said, last time we got stabbed by Roa. That was fun. And CL came to save the day. The GOAT. Also, Summer CL for FGO was revealed, and humana. Very excited. But I also need to not look at her as much as possible to avoid spoilers from this game. So let's hop in so that I can get to the CL route ASAP. Let's start off with day 13. The face of the moon. I've always been a stranger in my family. That's something I've known ever since I was young, from the time I was handed off to the Arimas. But honestly, it's been like that for much longer. It's no mystery why I felt like this. For as long as I can remember, I've been alone. There were people around me who seemed like parents, so I simply tried my best to be their child. My first home was one with old tatami mats, I think. After that, I was taken to a massive mansion for some reason. There was a pair of siblings who were close in age to me when I moved there. We got along pretty well, I think. Though, there was always a wall between me and their father. I tried. I did everything I could to fit in. I thought of him as my own parent, even though we weren't related by blood. But all of that was cut short. There was a big accident. After that, I was taken to the hospital. No one came to visit, and my eyes changed. I was by myself to start with, and I ended up alone. Back then, I thought it'd be fine if I just disappeared. At least, until I met that magician, as beautiful as a clear blue sky. That dream felt familiar somehow. Idly, I voiced my thoughts out loud. Though I can't move a single finger, I can at least talk again. My chest is wrapped in bandages. Someone must have removed the knife. As my senses return, I slowly realize that I'm back in my room.
兄さん、気がついたんですね。
アキハ、なんだ、そこにいたのか。
She's sitting beside the bed, carefully watching over me.
アキハ、お前。
Unable to grasp the situation, I simply stare at her. She looks away awkwardly.
この傷は、さ。
I can't tell her it was inflicted by the other Shikitono, by Roa. That said, why is Akiha the one looking after me? Wouldn't you normally send someone to a hospital when they've taken a knife to the chest?
いいんです。どうか楽にしてください。大体の事情は、あの人たちに聞きましたから。
あの人って先輩のことか。
Akiha nods heavily, her eyes downcast. This is bad. What does she mean by most of it? How much does she know? I can't relax until I find out just how much CL told her.
それで、アキハ、先輩はどうしたんだ。
客間を与えましたので、そちらで休んでいるのでしょう。本来ならあのような悪党、屋敷に入ることは許可しませんが、仮にも兄さんを助けてくれた方です。
A wretch, huh? Akiha is even more ruthless than usual.
それより兄さん、その胸の傷は、式に負わされたものですね。
In an almost matter-of-fact tone, she probes the truth without a moment's hesitation.
言ったでしょ。大体の事情は聞いたと。もっとも、聞かなくても兄さんの容体を見れば、一目でわかることですが。
I'm so shocked I can't even force a sound out of my throat. She's talking as if she knew about him from the start.
アキハ、お前、式のことを。
ええ、知っています。私は全てを承知した上で、兄さんを屋敷に呼び戻したんですから。
ちょっと待ってくれ。全てを承知した上ってどういうことだよそれ。俺はまだ正直整理がつかないんだ。子供の頃、俺とアキハの他にもう一人子供がいたのは確かだと思う。そうでないと辻褄が合わないからな。けどそれを聞いたらお前は。
She told me there was no third child.
それについては謝ります。私、兄さんには嘘ばかりついていました。今回のことも、こうなることが分かっていたのに、ずっと嘘をついてごまかしていたんです。
じゃあ3人目の子供はいたんだな。けどどうしてあいつは。
Why did he disappear from the mansion 7 years ago? My memories of that time are indistinct. There was a boy my age, and we'd often play together. I've recalled that much. Sometimes Akiha would join us when she managed to slip away from the old man's watchful eye. the rest is a total blank. I don't know why the other child disappeared. I don't even know why I forgot his name, a name he shared with me. For whatever reason, I forgot everything.
わからない。覚えていることといえば、それは
What I saw in that forest clearing, that hot summer day, the scene that's been drifting around the back of my mind ever since I came back to this mansion. Akia was there, and so was I, and before us was the corpse of a young boy, drenched in blood.
死体
I think back on what the vampire said. Your debt is repaid, a death for a death, which means
あの夢は俺は本当にあいつを
I killed him, didn't I? That's why he disappeared, and I'd forgotten all about it for the sake of my own convenience.
アキハ俺はい
いえ、違います。兄さんは誰も殺してはいません。そう思い込むよう、お父様、当の牧久に言いつけられたんです。
親父に
Now I'm more confused than ever. Why would he have wanted to conceal the
それ
truth?
どういうことだアキハはすべて7年前のこともあの式のことも全部知っているのか
はい。式のことは、兄さんには思い出してほしくなかった。できることなら、ずっと忘れたままでいてほしかった。けど、それもおしまいですね。初めから隠し通すことなんて無理な話だったんです。
Her smile carries a hint of self-mockery. Akia turns straight towards me.
兄さん、遠野の家が特別な血族だということはあの人たちに聞いたでしょう。信じられないでしょうけど、遠野の血は人間以外の血が混ざっているんです。
One thing I really have to say about the Tsukihime remake is, specifically with visual novels in general that release without voice acting and then get voice acting added, that can really change your perception of characters and improve them in major ways. I feel like Akiha, she wasn't a character I ever disliked, but she was never really up there. I feel like the voice actress really did a killer job on her performance, and that is honestly elevating her a lot. Even in this, where it's not even her root, her demeanor, getting to understand that through voice and not just text, adds an extra layer that I really appreciate.
少なくとも私は幼い頃からお父様にそう教えられて育ってきました。もちろんそれをまっとうに信じてはいませんでしたけれど、信じざるを得ない出来事が起きてしまった。それが7年前の兄さんが式に殺された事故です。
Huh?
殺されたって俺が式に
Kia nods silently. But that doesn't sound right. It should be the other way around. A death for a death, he said. If the bloodied corpse I saw in my memories was the other Shiki, doesn't that mean I'm the one who killed him?
遠野家の人間は個人差はあれど、年を取るごとに自分の中の異なる血が増えていきます。遠野の血筋に混ざっている異種は人とは違った生存本能を持っている。人間らしい部分を理性とするのなら、異種の部分は本能、銃声と言えるものです。
アキハそれは
分かってます。にわかには信じられない話でしょうから、今は黙って聞いてください。けれど遠野の血筋のものが人として終わってしまうのは年老いてからなんです。私の兄のように 四季のように幼年期に反転してしまう例なんて今までなかった。遠野の人間が持つ異能にはそれぞれ個人差があるそうです。外見が全く変わらない者がいれば、本当に体の形が変わってしまう者もいる。四季は典型的な後者でした。
後者。体の形が変わるってこと？
はい。なぜ四季があんな幼さで狂ってしまったかは分かりません。ただある日、何の前触れもなく反転してしまった。その時四季に襲われたのが兄さん、あなたなんです。
四季が俺に襲いかかった。
An uneasy feeling rises under the skin, an ache tracing the contours of my scar.
その時の場所があの森の広場なんです。兄さんは四季に胸を貫かれて瀕死の状態でした。そこに父が駆けつけて四季を止めたんです。理性を失っていた四季を止めるには息の根を止めるしかない。遠野家の当主にはそうやって反転してしまった一族のものを処理する義務があります。ですから兄さんが見た血まみれの四季というのは父に処理された後の四季ではないでしょうか。
The memory still eludes me, just out of reach. It feels like there was something else, something important that I'm forgetting about. And there's one more thing. Somewhere in the mist of hazy memories, I know that I took a life with my own hands. No matter what anyone says, something tells me I took a life there, in that forest.
幸い兄さんは奇跡的に一命を取り留めました。あとは兄さんの記憶にある通り、当の四季は事故に巻き込まれたと偽証をして病院に運ばれたんです。私が当主に決まったのはこの一件が原因です。一度でも反転した者は当主には迎え入れられない。四季は跡継ぎではなくなり、唯一父の血を継いでいる私が当主として育てられました。
I see. So that's why Akiha was saddled with the responsibility of inheriting the... Hold on.
アキハ、それおかしい。だってさ、その反転してしまったのは四季の方だろ。俺はそのまともじゃないのか。
驚いた。兄さん、こんな話を信じてくれるんですか？
あのな、お前がこんな嘘をつくわけがないしそのこういう話には慣れているというか、とにかく話の続きだ。アキハが当主に選ばれた理由、俺が有馬の家に預けられた理由を教えてほしい。
簡単です。兄さんにはどうしても遠野家を告げないわけがあった。本当にそんなことさえ忘れてくれていたんですね。その蜃気楼がずっと続いてくれたらよかったのに。
Aww.
アキハ、
兄さんは遠野家の人間ではないんです。ただ父の気まぐれで、私の兄である四季と同じ名前というだけで養子に取られた子供でした。
What?
兄さんと私、それに四季、私たちは本当の兄弟として育てられました。兄さんと四季はとても仲が良くて、私も幼心に嫉妬するぐらいでした。けれど四季があんなことになってしまった時に全てが狂ったんです。お父様は四季を内々に処理した。けれど対外的に遠野家の長男を亡くしてしまうことはできなかった。遠野家は社会的にも地位のある家柄でしょ。 だから軽率に跡継ぎである長男がいなくなりましたと周りには知らせられなかった。そこで父は思いついたんです。シキに殺されかけた塔のシキを実子として扱い、反転して人間で亡くなったシキを事故で死亡した養子として扱えばいいと。その時兄さんとシキは入れ替わったんです。殺された側が生き残って殺した側が死んでしまった。それが兄さんとシキの関係なんです。
じゃあなんだ。俺は秋葉の兄貴なんかじゃなくて遠野の人間でもなくて。
And of course, I'm not related to the Arimas either.
俺はどこの誰だって言うんだ。
ごめんなさい。もう誰もその質問には答えられません。兄さんはシキという名前をしていた子供はもうどこにもいないんです。シキという子供は7年前に死んでしまった。それは命としての死ではなく存在としての死です。戸籍も過去も家もその記憶ももうどこにも残ってはいない。兄さんが塔の指揮の代わりになった7年前に全部父が処分してしまいましたから。
Oh.
だから兄さんは有馬の家に預けられたんです。世間体のために。遠野家の長男は生きていなくてはならない。けれど本当は血がつながってはいないから跡継ぎにはさせられない。お父様は事故で体が弱っていると理由をつけて兄さんを有馬の家に追放した。二度と遠野の家に立ち入らせないようにと。
There's a trembling in her voice. She drops her head, fighting something stirring in her chest. She must feel guilty over what happened to me. But she shouldn't. I don't blame her in the slightest. In fact, I'm incredibly grateful to know that Akiha cares for me so deeply. That said, there's something that I need to ask her about.
ダメだ。疑問点がまだ2つもある。話を続けてくれ、アキハ。物事がまだちゃんと解決していないよ。それじゃ。まず1つ目。まあ、こっちは別に些細な疑問というか確認なんだけど、俺が遠野の人間じゃないのは分かった。遠野の血が普通と違うのも信じるよ。でも、そうなると、俺の目の説明ができないというか、実は俺も少しだけおかしな体質をしているんだけど、これってたまたまなのかな。
わかりません。確かに父は気まぐれで養子を取るような人ではありませんでしたから。兄さんを養子に取ったのも何かしら訳があってのことだったのかもしれません。
そうか。まあ、この際自分が何者かなんてことは本当にどうでもいいんだ。アキハもそんなに気にしないでくれ。そのさ、俺生きてるだけでラッキーだって思うんだ。本当なら死んでいたような傷だったんだろう。ならこうしていられるだけで幸運だよ。
Yeah, that stuff doesn't really matter. There's something else I need to know.
2つ目の疑問。シキはどうして生きてるんだ。
兄さん。
おかしいだろ、あいつが生きているのは。シキは遠野の血に負けて反転とやらをしたんだろう。そうして俺を殺して親父に息の根を止められた。ならああして生きているはずがない。可能性があるとしたら一つだけだ。俺が一命を取り留めたようにあいつも一命を取り留めた。いや、 もしかすると親父は息の根を止めなかったのかもしれないな。どんなに狂ってしまっても血を分けた自分の息子だ。だから殺せず人目につかないところで養生させていたんじゃないのか。俺が病院に担ぎ込まれたみたいに。
Akia doesn't answer. The fact that she can't lie is both her strength and her weakness. Looks like I was right on the money.
そうか。それで式がまともに戻ったら党の指揮として屋敷に呼び戻すつもりだったんだろうな。
そんなこと。
Akia can't bring herself to refute it.
いいんだ。秋葉が悪いわけでもないし親父が悪いわけでもない。もちろん式が悪いわけでもない。原因はさ、本当にたまたまなんだよ。たまたま運が悪くてよその国のイカれたやつが式に入っちまっただけなんだ。本当に悪いものがあるとすればそれは式を狂わせたものだけだ。
Akia remained silent, her head hung low. I guess this is where our conversation ends. To be honest, I didn't want to learn the truth about myself. Right now, I need to meet up with Arquaid as soon as I can.
ごめん、少し疲れた。眠るから外に出てくれないか。
はい。兄さんがそう言うのでしたら。
Akia heads for the door.
秋葉。
One question still lingers in my mind.
何ですか兄さん。
ああ。秋葉はどうして俺をこの屋敷に呼んでくれたんだ。俺は本当の兄貴じゃないのに。
そんなバカなこと言わないでください。私にとって兄さんはあなただけです。今も昔も。兄さんは忘れてしまっただろうけど、子供の頃からずっと当の秋葉にとって兄さんはあなただけなんです。四季。
Aww. The door opens with a heavy sound, and then she leaves. What a nice young lady. With Akiha gone, I can finally take stock of my own situation. It's just past 10 in the evening. Only 4 hours have passed since that bastard knifed me. My body refuses to budge, not bulge, Jesus Christ. It feels like I've turned into a robot, one operated by a remote control that's since been lost. My mind is clear, I don't even feel any pain, yet I can't move my limbs at all. I expel a deep breath to calm myself. By trying to move an entire arm or leg in a single push, I'm only setting myself up for failure. If I want to make this work, I've got to start smaller. If I focus my entire being toward the simple act of wiggling my right pinky. Every ounce of strength is focused in that one tiny finger. Every last fraction of concentration condensed into a single point. It feels like the muscles in my body might rip themselves apart from the exertion. After a few minutes of concentrated effort, I'm completely drenched with sweat, but I manage to twitch my little finger the teeniest bit. With a loud heave, I release the breath I've been holding. It might have just been one finger, but it's proof that I could still move my body. It's all I need to shake the feeling that I'm some helpless puppet with his strings cut. Yeah, baby! Another one for the fucking books! Let's go. Dude, what is it with visual novels and this specific phrasing? Oh. Now that I remember what the sensation of touch feels like, I can force the motion from my pinky to my ring finger, to my palm, my elbow, my arm, my shoulder. Sorry about that, I had to respond to a text. The more of my body I reclaim, the more the pain flares. The lack of pain earlier must have been due to my entire body being numb with paralysis, so it makes sense that as I regain control of my nerves, the pain will only grow. Thick sweat gathers on my forehead. I can feel a stabbing pain all throughout my body, but I need to persevere. If I don't regain my senses, I won't be able to leave my room. And if I can't leave my room, then I can't head back to town, to the school, to the place where I can meet Arkwade again. Man is motivated by white woman. Fighting back the nausea, I force my torso up. There, I did it. It's probably going to take everything I have just to walk there, but that's fine. It's a miracle I survived after Roa struck me in that point. Asking for more would just be tempting fate. I inspect the spot where the knife penetrated my skin. That's strange. There isn't a single point of death on my chest. Sure enough, my body possesses 2 such points, but neither is anywhere near the place he stabbed me. I'm struck by a calm realization. Of course he didn't stab one of my points of death. If he had, I would have dropped dead on the spot. Even Vlav, an undying monster, was no exception to that rule. So if Shiki had actually stabbed me in one of those spots, someone like me wouldn't have had a chance. As I ponder the situation, I spend a few long moments pulling my coat over my shoulders. But just then, a gentle knock comes from the door, followed by my supposed senior entering the room.
遠野くん、絶対安静だって言われたでしょ。なんで起き上がろうとしているんですか、あなたは。
She hurries to my bed. I take a second to observe her in silence. Cute.
何ですか、遠野くん。私の顔、何かついてます？
うん。メガネがついてる。
ええ、遠野くんとお揃いですね。
I love her. I love her so much. She chuckles softly at the dumb joke. It's nice. She's still the same old CL. Even after she told me she'd disappear from my life, she still came to save me. She may be strong enough to go toe-to-toe with Roa, but the rest of her is still unchanged.
ありがとう。また先輩に助けられた。
ええ、これで荒事は2回目です。いい加減次は見捨てますから覚悟していてくださいね。
Huh? I was talking about our conversation at the side of the wreckage. She must have saved me some other time without me even noticing it.
そっか。2回目だったんだ。わかった。覚悟しとくよ。次は必ずやられる前にやることにする。
CL stares me down.
遠野くん、もしかしてまだ懲りてないんですか？
懲りてないも何も、俺は被害者だよ。あっちから問答無用でやってきたんだ。懲りるも何もないだろう。
それはそうですけど、遠野くん、やる気満々じゃないですか。
I let CL's comment pass in silence. I'm not sure what sort of face I'm making. But I do know I've got no intention of resting here when I could be taking action.
先輩、質問していいですか？
嫌です。と言っても、遠野くんには通じないようですね。いいですよ。それで遠野くんがおとなしくしてくれるなら安いものです。しばらくおしゃべりにお付き合いしちゃいます。
CL takes a seat in the same chair that Akia was sitting in before. I was so certain she'd refuse me, but here she is. I still don't understand her at all.
マリオも来ているんですか？あと、ノエル先生は？
先生は自宅療養中です。マリオでしたら、下でアキハさんと交渉中ですね。今後の対策の打ち合わせと、まあ、急所の探り合いでしょうか。
CL speaks dispassionately. Mario and CL might be connected through the church, but it seems there's no love lost between them.
じゃあ聞きます。さっきのやつがロアなんですね。
はい、あれが今代のロアの転生体です。7年前に遠野くんの命を略奪した遠野四季。そのあたりの事情は明葉さんに聞きました？
ああ、聞いた。なんだ先輩、明葉と仲良くなったの？あいつ先輩たちのこと嫌ってるみたいだったけど。
ええ、嫌われてますよ。明葉さんは異端狩りという私の仕事も嫌いなら、私自身のことも気に食わないそうです。ですね、並大抵の嫌われようじゃありません。この件が片付き次第、殺し合いをするのも辞さない感じです。
She also says something quite alarming with an eerily casual
そ
smile.
っか。まあそれは置いておいて、話はロアに戻るんだけど、奴の住処はうちの学校だったんですか？
ロアの隠れ家は他にも複数あったようですが、現在あの校舎を根城にしているのは間違いないようですね。アルクエイドがロアの死者たちを残らず排除した結果、自分から動き出したんだと思います。
In other words, Arquaid hasn't found him yet, which means I still stand a chance of catching her in time.
遠野くん？
あ、いえ、考え事をしてました。けど、どうしてロアはうちの学校なんかを住処にしてるんですか？そもそもあれは本当にロアなのかな？なんか聞いていたのとイメージが違いすぎて。
そのイメージというものが間違いですね。ロアは転生する吸血鬼。その時の姿や性格、思考性が変化するのは当然です。いいですか、遠野くん。ロアが転生先に選んだ肉体はロアとは別の人格、人間として育ちます。知性が十分に育たなければロアは己を発揮できませんから。そうして一個人として成長した人間の全てを苗床にしてロアは姿を現します。
Ugh.
よりしろがロアに変身するのではなく、ロアの思想をよりしろが受け継ぎ新しいロアになる。ですのでロアとして覚醒した後もその代のロアの行動原理は肉体に沿うものになりがちです。
肉体に影響される。じゃああいつは間違いなく四季の考え方を持ったロアということなんですか？
半々の状態といったところでしょうか。転生先となった当の四季の意識は7年間専盲状態だった。だから四季本人の自我が弱い時、思想はオリジナルの初代ロアのものに近くなる。こんなケースはロアの歴史の中でも珍しいことでしょうね。ある意味ロアという人物はもう存在しないんです。あそこにいるのは永遠という事柄、不老不死を求める脅迫観念に過ぎません。厄介なのはその脅迫観念に意志と歴史、積み重ねた魔道の知識があるということ。ロアは不老不死の探求を続けられるのなら自分が何をしようと構わない。四季本人の意志、四季の欲求を止めることはしません。むしろ欲望の達成を手助けするでしょう。よりしろの確執が消えれば思想は完全にロアだけのものになりますから。
四季本人のやりたいこと。
はい、おそらく彼はアルクエイドから隠れることより、遠野くん、あなたの殺害を第一としていたはずです。
四季の目的が俺の殺害ってどうして？
そうですね、言いにくいことですが、当の四季にとってあなたは自分を殺した人だからだと思います。
殺されたのはこっちの方なのにあべこべですよそれ。
Well, you killed him in like the figurative sense.
でも遠野くんは生きている。そして四季は殺されてしまった。その結果 あなたは塔の指揮になってしまったでしょ。指揮は塔野の身内たちの手によって処罰された後、奇跡的に蘇生しました。だって塔野家の長男はきちんと生きていて、妹の明葉さんと暮らしていたんですから。ある意味あなたは塔野指揮という人物を殺してしまったんです。彼の帰る場所を、あなたが塔野巻久によって幽閉されていた指揮が自分として暮らしていたあなたにどんな感情を抱くかは分かりやすすぎるぐらいです。
四季にとって俺は自分の名前を使って塔の四季になりすましている偽物なわけか。
はい、四季は何よりもあなたを憎んでいたんだと思います。
It's not like I'm all too happy with the arrangement we wound up with either, but I suppose that wouldn't matter much to Shiki. To him, I'm just some despicable fraud, the man who stole his place in the world. And it's not like his resentment faded with time, rather, he spent the past 7 years nurturing it and letting it fester. Yeah, looking at it this way, of course he wants to kill me.
でもさ、殺されたのは俺の方なんだ。
塔野くん。
He's not the only one who got robbed of his existence. 7 years ago, I would have been 10, and that 10-year-old me has been completely erased. I don't know anything from before then. I don't have any memories of my childhood. It's not like I long to meet my real parents, but everything I might have held dear no longer exists. I don't even know my old last name. Shiki, the child I once was, is gone without a trace.
塔野くん、憎しみで戦おうとするのはいけないことです。
Ciel chides me, perhaps sensing something worrisome in my idle murmuring. Though I'm afraid her concern is misplaced.
そんなんじゃないです。俺がロアを殺すのは別の理由ですから。
憎しみはないんですか？
全くないわけじゃないけど、それはただあるだけの話です。それとは関係のないところでロアは放っておけない。放っておくと一人とんでもない無茶をするやつがいる。だから俺も急がないと。最後まで手伝うってあいつと約束したんだから。
That's right. I don't have time to rest up here. Not when she's been bearing her pain with a smile this entire time.
わかりません。どうしてそこまで彼女に肩入れするんですか？アルクエイドは吸血鬼です。塔野くんとは違うものじゃないですか。
それも関係ないですよ。俺はアルクエイドだから肩入れするんです。仮にあいつが人間だろうと怪獣だろうと。
Actually, I shouldn't call her that. She'd silk up a storm if she heard.
人魚だろうと結果は変わらない。それぐらい俺はあいつそのものに惚れてるんです。
Staring straight into Ciel's eyes, I declare my feelings for Arquaid. She quickly clasps her hands over her cheeks, which are flushing red for some reason.
あくまで彼女に協力すると言うんですね。と。
Of course. Which is why I'll head for the school the second my body allows it. There's a chance that Arquaid could find Roa and become embroiled in battle. The instant she does, her safety is no longer a guarantee. It's dubious how much help I can offer in my current state, but it's still better than letting her go it alone.
無理ですね。たとえ塔野くんが満足に動けたところで、今の彼女ではロアには対抗できません。
対抗できないってどうしてそう断言できるんですか、先輩。
単純な足し算ですから。彼女は一度決壊した吸血衝動を抑えて活動している。そのために能力はさらに低下し、ロアの半分にも満たないでしょう。塔野くんの力はロアの半分もありませんから、塔野くんが協力したところでロアには太刀打ちできません。そもそも彼女は死にかかっています。能力が弱っているのに自分の衝動を抑えつけている。私たちで言うのなら、肺が潰れているのに動き回っているようなものです。
What the hell? She's dying? Why? How? I knew she was suffering, but it never seemed like she was anywhere near that bad.
もちろんそれは吸血衝動を抑えなければ回復できるものです。楽になりたいのなら人間の血を吸えばいい。けれどアルケイドは二度と人の血は吸わないでしょう。だからロアを追いかける限り彼女は自分から死に近づいているんです。
ふざけるな、そんなの。
I jump up from the bed and immediately collapse to the ground. It's not even a graceful fall. Instead, I hit the ground like a discarded piece of trash. It's so pathetic, it makes me want to curl up and die. Arkwade is out there, pushing herself against the world, and I'm too frail to even walk.
無茶はしないでください。傷自体は合ってないようなものですけど、遠野くんの生命力は空っぽなんです。ロアの今代の転生体、四季の能力でしょう。あなたはナイフで刺されただけで、ごっそりと命そのものを削り取られたんです。
命。
生命を活動させる動的な結合力。平たく言えばエネルギーですね。生きている限り動的な結合力は作り出されますけど、その蓄積量は個人差があるんです。一人の体から取り出せる生命力は無尽蔵ではなく限度がある。蓄積している生命力を一瞬にして奪われたら、その個体は生命活動を停止するんです。
Life force. The thing that sets someone in motion.
それは物を生かしているということですか？
そうですね。厳密に言うと死ではありません。ガソリンが切れてしまったから動かなくなる。エンジンは壊れていないんですから、エネルギーさえ戻ればまた走り出せます。
Ciel moves to stand me up and lay me back down on the bed.
もう横にはならない。
もう自分一人じゃ立ってられない人が何を言ってるんですか？横になるのが嫌でしたらこうしてください。
With a forceful push, Ciel has me sit on the bed. The act of sitting is enough to send my breathing into disarray. Fuck. I'll never make it to school at this rate. Even if I could find Arkwade, I'd only slow her down.
いいんですよ。遠野くんはもう戦わなくて。ロアのことならあと数日もあれば決着がつきますから。
Yo, please tell me we're gonna have Mario fucking marionette us to, like, be able to move around. That'd be dope.
決着って。
ロアの転生体が特定できましたから、法王町、私たちの本拠地ですけど、今回はマリオもいますし、3日もあれば十分な数の代行者が送り込まれますから、結局また同じことの繰り返しになりますけど、とりあえずそれで今代のロアは処理できます。
3 days. Wait. 3 days.
そんなもの待ってられない。今夜にでもアルクエドはロアとやり合うかもしれないんだ。だったらそんなもの何の意味もないじゃないか。
I force my power into my legs. Somehow masking my ragged breathing, I get up from the bed.
先輩、俺のナイフどこだ？
私が預かってますけど、あなたに渡すと思いますか？
思わないけど人のものを取り上げないでほしい。確か何で盗むべからなんでしょう。
Bro's fucking busted out the commandments on her ass. Ciel takes the knife out of her habit with a resigned sigh.
この担当は遠野くんのですからお返ししますけど、学校に戻るつもりなんですか？
何度もそう言ってる。アルクエイドがロアを見つける前に俺が。
Put an end to him. If Shiki is after my life, then we'll wind up clashing one way or another. If so, I should go there and kill him myself to protect Arkwade.
そんな体でですか？やっぱりわかりませんね。あなたがそこまで彼女にこだわる理由、聞かせてください。それを聞かせてくれるのなら、私はもう止めませんから。
It's the same question as before. Sending strength to my trembling knees, I reaffirm my resolve that I might instill them with the strength to burst out of here.
俺は
Why do I want to help her? Because I like her? Because it's fun to be around her? I'd just be lying to myself if I said that. There's one far more deep-rooted reason, one which trumps everything else. She's my prey.
あいつ一人だ
Oh, okay, no, this is actually a really nice moment.
なんかほっとけないんだ。多分理由はそんなものだよ。
嘘です。そんなことで自分の命をないがしろにはできません。真面目に答えてください、遠野くん。そんな理由じゃ私は納得できません。
いや、本当に理由はそんなことなんだ。あいつは今まで一人で楽しいことがいっぱいあるってことも知らなくて、ずっとバカみたいに一人だった。そんなのは寂しすぎるだろ。そんな意味のない人生、俺は許せない。だから
That's why I just wanted to show her that this world has so much going on, even if the majority is pointless crap. Learning all about it, experiencing it for yourself, is the joy of living. It's a truth so simple, even children understand it.
ただ教えてやりたかった。あいつはあんなに楽しそうに笑っていたけど、そんなのは誰にでも手に入れられるものなんだって教えてやりたかった。世の中にはもっともっとつまらない悩みなんて消し飛ぶぐらい楽しいことがあるんだって、何回でも連れ回したかった。当たり前のことを当たり前のように感じられるように、あいつを幸せにしてやりたかった。
My desire doesn't come from sadness. It's a simple, honest wish from the bottom of my heart. I want her to be able to smile always, because there's nothing I find more radiant, more lovely, more beautiful.
だってそうだろう。あいつは今まで救われなかった分、その何倍も幸せにならなくちゃいけない。帳尻は合わせないと嘘だ。だいたいあいつが一人で亡くなる方法なんて簡単すぎる。そんなことで悩んでるとかバカみたいだ。
Yeah, it's a piece of cake. All she needs is someone she can talk to, and the freedom to do what she wants.
きっとさ、それは誰にだってしてやれることなんだ。他の誰でもあいつを幸せにすることはできる。だから確かに俺がこんなみっともない体でこんな風に躍起になる必要はない。他の誰にだってあいつを一人でなくすことができるんだから。
I know. I know it all too well, but I'm not doing this for some logical reason.
ダメなんだ。他の誰かになんて任せられないし、このままあいつと別れることなんてできない。俺にはもうあいつ以外にいないんだ。
That's just the kind of bastard I am. I had already given up on so many things. I could have died like a dog and not cared. Yet, now I desire something so much, it's like I'm a different person.
アルクエイドを愛してる。
As a man, I'm in love with everything about her.
でもそれ以上に俺は自分の手であいつを幸せにしてやりたい。そのために自分の命が使われるのならそれでいい。このままであいつに消えてほしくない。今はただそれだけなんだ、先輩。
Yeah, that's all it is. I care more about Arquaid than I do my own life. She's the sole purpose for which I was granted these eyes. I can say that with absolute certainty.
他の誰でもですか。バカなこと言わないでください。他の誰にもできませんよ。だって そんなことを言えるのは世界中で遠野くんだけみたいですから。
CL sighs deeply and shrugs her shoulders in exasperation.
先輩。
ちょっと頭にきちゃいました。彼女もう十分幸せじゃないですか。
She wears a cynical smile, but her tone is gentle. Suddenly, I hear a noise from the window, the scraping of branches and twigs.
驚かないでいいですよ。彼女が立ち去っただけですから。さっきからおかしな違和感があったんですけど、やっぱりそうだったんですね。
CL glances toward the window.
ロアより遠野くんの方を優先してきてたなんて彼女らしくないですけど。まあこれでロアの方を優先しているようでしたら、私がとどめを刺しに行きますが。
なんでアルクエドが俺の部屋なんかに来るんだよ。
遠野くんがロアにやられたから心配で見に来たんでしょう。私たちの話に聞き耳を立てていて、たった今ロアのところに行っちゃいましたけど。
行ったってどうして。
当たり前じゃないですか。あんなこと聞いちゃったら私だって同じ行動をとります。羨ましいけど同じぐらい哀れですね。
だからどうして。
遠野くんはアルクエドを助けたいけど、アルクエドは遠野くんを巻き込みたくない。なら答えは一つです。さて、これで諦めがついたでしょ。遠野くんがどう頑張ったところで彼女には追いつけません。ですからあとは私たちに任せてゆっくり体を。
ふざけるな。
In a fit of rage, I grab at her collar. The short burst of movement is enough to get my head spinning, but I ignore the dizziness.
こうなると分かって俺に理由を聞いたのか。
いいえ、私遠野くんが彼女をそういう風に見てたなんて知りませんでした。確かにこれは私の失策です。
Even so, her expression doesn't change. Her gaze is perfectly calm as I cling to her collar. This is pointless. Arquette is already on her way. I've got more important things to do than blame CL.
彼女の後を追う。連れて行け。
そんな体の人の脅迫を聞くと思っているんですか。
Of course not.
知るか。言うことを聞かないならここでめちゃくちゃに暴れてやる。
Her expression crumbles. The stern face from before is replaced by one of quiet astonishment as she looks away and ponders for a moment. After a few seconds, CL breathes another heavy sigh.
その提案は魅力的ですけど仕方ありません。私の失策でもありますし、乗りかかった船ですから。こうなったら終着までお付き合いします。
CL peels my fingers off her collar and comes around to my side.
それじゃあ連れて行ってあげますから、おとなしくしていてくださいね。
I don't even have the time to be confused. CL picks me up, cradling me in her arms. We're getting princess carried. Hell yeah.
アキハさんに見つかると止められますので、彼女と同じ方法で行きましょうか。
はい、ちょっとシエル先輩。
There's a soft thud as she steps onto the windowsill, and a split second later, we leap out into the night. The graceful avatar bounds beneath a moon without flaw. From roof to roof, without stopping or falling, she crosses the sky like an arrow set loose. Her destination is fixed. The high school on the fringes of the city, the place where her foe has made his nest, the site of a battle long awaited. The distance between the house on the hill and the school grounds is a mere 2 kilometers as the crow flies. A journey of a few minutes on legs such as these. She's well accustomed to this sort of pursuit. Flying with complete efficiency, her every action is specialized toward piercing her target. This silhouette has been a heaven-sent bolt of death for many a dead apostle. Yet, just for tonight, her trajectory is filled with a gentle warmth.
大好き大 好き大好き大好き
Aww. As the sky bathes her upturned face in moonlight, she shouts her feelings to the universe. If she didn't let them out, her heart would surely burst. If she didn't press her hands against her cheeks, they would burn from the heat. Inexplicable light has flooded her chest. Tingles of contentment flow through her neck and into her brain. It's an experience entirely new to her, one of pure joy. The shroud of melancholy that bound her mere minutes before is nowhere to be found, even though her body may be on the verge of collapse, even though she may not have the strength to keep on fighting, even if she may not have a future once she defeats the vampire lurking in the school, even if all she did until now has been pointless, without any meaning or redemption.
構わない。そんなの全然どうでもいい。
All those problems are a thing of the past. Everything between her and Roa feels like little more than an insignificant feud. What fuels her now is that which wells up in her heart. The feeling of wanting to protect someone precious to her. A feeling she's never grasped for herself until this moment. The Roa this time is different. Compared to Roas of the past, he's less interested in the pursuit of immortality. This Roa possesses a deep, singular interest in one person. By examining all that had occurred as one sequence, she arrived at the necessary conclusion. She realized that the relation between her Shiki and the other Shiki is much like the one between her and Roa.
だから私が倒す。
No more bringing him into danger, and no more hesitating about her clash with Roa. A few minutes prior, she had feared their confrontation. The rationality at her core said her odds for victory were slim at best. It wasn't the prospect of failing her mission that frightened her. No, she feared dying at her foe's hand, disappearing, and never seeing him again. But now it's different. She's propelled by an all-encompassing joy. Because she's alone, I can't just abandon her. That's all the reason I need. Her eyes, her lips, her entire being is flushed with bashful delight. Can she win? Can she survive? Will she be able to meet him again? That would be nice, she thinks. So she'll keep fighting for that possibility, for her own hopes and dreams. Never before has something like this driven her. It's not hatred or duty. Rather, it's the elation from being able to dedicate herself to him that propels the white figure across the night sky.
私に返せるものはないけれど。
As thanks for the warmth burning in her chest.
あなたの敵をやっつけるわ。
Her mind is made up. She will use whatever remains of her power to end things tonight. The memory remains branded on her heart. With a smile, she accepts those simple words, a reward for a journey of 1,000 years. Hey guys, don't know if you could tell there, I was tearing up a minute there, so I'm going to take a little small break to also top off my water. I will be right back. And we're back. Man. What a good ass scene. Oh. Like, I should never doubt Nasu. He's got that dog in him. And listen, I might be a little bit of a crybaby when it comes to media, but even still, like, when something makes me cry, that is like a really special feeling. So I get suckered into stuff really easily, so it's like, or sucked in rather, so it's like, do I cry easier than probably some people when it comes to things? Maybe, but it always feels very cathartic. After bursting through the night-covered city, we arrive at the school. Despite having leaped from roof to roof with me in her arms, much like Arkwade has done before, Ciel doesn't seem out of breath in the slightest. This is probably coming a little late, but she might just be as ridiculously overpowered as Arkwade.
遠野くん、歩けますか？
歩けなくても歩きます。これからロアを殺しに行くんですから。
そうですね。では、この先は自分の足でお願いします。
She lowers me to the ground. The school is wrapped in an eerie silence. Once I enter these grounds, neither Ro or I are walking out until one of us is dead. I take a deep breath and remove my glasses. A familiar pain courses through my brain. The sensation, combined with my rigid body, makes me want to scream out.
まずいですね。目覚めたばかりとはいえ、やはり月齢の影響を受けますか。
Ciel looks up at the sky with a grim look on her face. The moon illuminates the school in its silver blue glow.
まずいって何がです？
ロアの状態です。神祖は月齢によってその能力限度を上下させます。彼らは満月に近いほど力を増す。それは使徒であるロア本人も同じです。今夜のロアは限りなく不死身に近いでしょう。今の私の装備では殺しきれないかもしれません。
As close to immortal as can be, huh? Not like that makes a difference to me. As long as a potential death still exists, I can kill it, no matter how hard he makes it for me. I just need to get close enough. Even if he guts me the next second, it won't matter if I can deliver his death in a single breath.
それにしても今夜は明るいですね。これじゃあ闇に紛れて忍び込むのも難しいです。月の明るい夜は好きなんですけど、今日だけは別物ですね。
She sighs. Moonlight pierces the frozen blue night, a testimony to the death of existence that one might even find beauty in.
そうかな。俺は月の明るい夜は嫌いです。
遠野くん。
There's an intense throb. Something grates within my brain.
太陽じゃなくて月の弱い明かりだと余計にはっきり見えるから。線をかき消すくらい強い日差しか本当の暗闇の方が気が楽だ。
Another throb. It scratches at the fringes of my reality.
ああ、今夜は特に狂いそうだ。何もかも死にやすそうで、まるで月の荒野にいるみたい。
But it's not necessarily bad news. It means that no matter what, I won't miss Roa's death.
遠野くん、ここでお別れです。ここから先は一人で行ってください。私は別行動をしますから。
別行動？先輩、何かするんですか？
ですね、私だってロアを処理するのが目的なんですよ。ただ、今代のロアは今までより強力なようですから、真正面から挑むことはしません。遠野くんとアルクエイドがロアに殺された後、その隙をつい
Oh, shit.
遠野くんとアルクエイドがロアに殺された後、その隙をついてロアを処断します。
Ciel declares her strategy without a hint of shame. To be honest, her sincerity inspires more confidence than half-truths ever could.
わかりました。 勝手ですけど、その時は後始末をよろしくお願いします。
はい。仕事に私情を挟むのはここまでです。遠野くんは彼女のために戦うのでしょう。それと同じように私にも自分なりの理由があるんです。
Find out more in the other route.
ですから、これ以上あなたたちを助けることはできません。
はい、ありがとうございます先輩。これでお別れかもしれないから言っておきますね。俺先輩のことを好きでしたよ。先輩と有彦と3人でバカみたいな話をしてるのは楽しかった。
はい、私も夢みたいでした。
And just like that, CL disappears like a bird fading into the night.
さあ、行くか。
I've also made up my mind. I pass through the main gate. It's still hard to walk. The school feels like it's miles away. Though my body grows dizzier with every step, I whip myself into action, forcing my body to sprint toward the building. Ahead of Shikitono, the executor has already entered the school. This is not an assault, but an infiltration. Naturally, this is far from her first time navigating enemy territory. For the Executor CL, exterminating vampires is a matter of duty, not of pride. To challenge an enemy directly is to invite suspicion of madness. Her body moves like a shadow. Her stealth surpasses mere silence, as if there is no trace of her at all to the outside world. No scent, no body heat, not even a heartbeat, nothing. As of now, she won't even permit herself to think. There are vampires capable of noticing intruders the second a thought crosses their mind. It's uncertain whether Mihail Ro of Valdemjong has cultivated such an ability, but the true ancestor no doubt possesses at least this level of spatial domination. Dominion. And if Arquay discovers that CL has entered this space, that information will be relayed to Roa, engaged in battle with her. In other words, the slightest thought would ruin her chance at an ambush. So, in order to avoid such an outcome, CL has transformed herself into a puppet, with its strings cut off. A puppet only performs the commands it has been given. It does not think. It is unmoved by outside factors. Unthinkingly, the Executor moves towards a location in Roa's blind spot where she might deliver certain death. She has apprised herself of her surroundings through Magecraft. Jesus Christ, dude. 2 bots in one stream? Ro has deployed a myriad of magical formulae throughout the gymnasium, where he now waits. Arquaid is moving to meet him through the corridor which connects the gym with the main building. The concrete surface is growing more scorched by the second. It is Ro's ode accumulated until this very moment, contending with Arquaid's own magical energy. If CL were conscious, she might liken it to a powder keg, a concentration of magical energy so dense it sparks, ready to blow at the slightest provocation, eradicating intruders and all. Will Shikitono be able to pass through here? Such thoughts do not cross her mind. The killing machine simply heads from the courtyard to the roof. Even Ro himself could not wake her up now. But then... she sees it. Like a fatal omen, something makes her question her own eyes. Ugh. It clings to the wall unnaturally. Not even CL, with her vast history of vanquishing dead apostles and monsters alike, has heard of such an aberration, let alone seen it. God, this thing really is very much like this. I would not be surprised to see this walk out of Muv-Love. Its skin is tough yet supple, like leather or tree bark. Its abdomen is grossly distended. 6 legs sprout from its gut. A mass of claws or fangs grow from its shoulder, large enough to belong to a dinosaur. Its lower body resembles that of a spider. Its upper body is almost human. The 8 eyes that dot its face are unmistakably arachnoid. Yet strangest of all... a muddled awareness oozes from the aberration, one that is neither murderous nor hostile. She has faced bloodlust potent enough to foretell her doom. She has faced hostility electric enough to cover her entire flesh in goosebumps. But that is not what she senses now. This creature defies analysis. It exists in none of the church's records. Of that much she is certain. This being's origins lie outside the realm of man's understanding. Something about it brings to mind a painting by a renowned artist of a dark, strikingly blue city beneath a swirling moon and stars. It almost seems to inhabit a separate dimension. Without realizing, Ciel begins to breathe again. All thoughts of Roa, Shiki, or Arcade are erased from her empty mind. What remains is primal fear, a trace of humanity from a time before she was an executor, when she was just a little girl, ignorant of monsters and creatures of the night. In other words, she is filled with an undeniable aversion to the hideous thing before her. The entire school distorts and shakes. The amassed magical energy in the air is causing a chain reaction, warping the steel foundation of the school building. It wasn't caused by this aberration. It's a sign that the fight between Ro and Arcade has begun. It was only a few seconds, but it was a fatal error nonetheless. Realizing that she has lost her chance to ambush Roa, Ciel immediately redirects her attention to the threat at hand. The monster, neither insect nor beast, is nearly 3 meters tall, yet it glides across the walls with ease. It is entirely unaffected by the shaking of the building. From 8 meters away, the monster brandishes its grotesque arms. They extend like whips. They close in on her, but Ciel calms as she catches the familiar scent of a dead apostle from each of them. Roa must have placed it here to prevent her from interfering. Viewed in such a light, nothing about this is shocking. Ciel observes the physiological makeup of the ghoul from below. Its entire form is a mass of lethal weaponry, but there are 2 points which demand attention. The cluster of fangs protruding from its shoulder, and that massive left arm. Those fangs are not made for close combat. No, without a doubt. They're quite the opposite. They are missiles made to hunt prey from afar. A direct hit from a high-velocity mass like that would splinter a human into 1,000 pieces. And if it maintains the high ground, she'll be a sitting duck. In one breath, she slips past the wave of whistling projectiles, leaping up to the rooftop. The massive ghoul clambers onto the rooftop to cut off the executor's escape. Its 6 legs allowed it to glide across the ground, just as easily as it scaled the wall. Ciel views its every move, formulating her plan of attack. The giant ghoul is akin to mobile artillery. Its primary armaments comprise those elastic arms and the rows of fangs on its shoulder, which have already regrown. A variable form specialized in long-distance warfare. Oh, hi, Brocastelbot. Yes, this is unfortunately going to be the last one of the Arcade playthrough, because I am doing the Ciel playthrough off-stream. But yeah, we are currently fighting this fucking creature. And yeah, these have been fun streams. I'm happy for everyone who's come out. You missed it, I cried earlier, that was fun. Were she to get too close, its left arm would almost certainly smash through her defenses. That is, if it manages to hit her. Objectively, that ghoul's massive left arm is at odds with the rest of its body. The mismatched proportions ruin its balance, undoubtedly marring the creature's maneuverability. Had its arms been closer in shape and size, it could have acted as a more stable mobile turret, or even pressured Ciel from a distance. It assails her once more with its whip-like arms. Evading by the skin of her teeth, the Executor weaves her way toward her enemy. She is no longer plagued by the fear that tingled at her spine. Though her foe remains an unknown entity, she has ascertained its strength and abilities. Even if it is a type of ghoul never before encountered, it should pose no threat to her. The abilities it exhibits are not enough to kill her. Ciel is fully convinced that she can cull it with her current equipment. If there's one issue, it's... Though she does not know the enemy, She knows that its power is on par with that of a greater dead apostle, which means that executing it once or twice will not be enough. The question is, how much she must kill it before it stops regenerating.
10分それ以上は使えない。
The Executor's Magecraft burns the ghoul. Although struck by enough lightning to kill an elephant, the ghoul leaps backward and launches its counter-assault. The Executor grits her teeth. This monster is far more resilient than she anticipated. Some time remains until she will fell her foe. She has no way of knowing how that slight interval will affect the night's conclusion. The school is a mess. Everywhere I look, steel and concrete have been gouged. It's like a miniature typhoon passed through before ascending upward. As fast as CL was in traversing the city, she couldn't keep up with Arcade. The battle between Arcade and Roa must already be underway. I run through the corridors. Alien sounds of destruction ring through the building. A burning smell lingers in the air. My fingernails dig into my left palm, pulling back my consciousness, which slips further away with every step. The painful sting keeps me grounded enough to press forward. It doesn't matter if my nails flay my left hand. As long as my right hand can still wield a knife, I'll be okay. I pass through the hallway and run up the stairs. The sound is close now. I'm almost certain it's coming from the third floor. Just a little further. If I can catch up with her, we'll stand a chance. She knows what my eyes can do. She's the type to stay calm and rational during a fight. Once she knows I'm here, she'll know how to put me to good use. She can handle the defense while I go on the attack, just like when we fought Vlav. She just needs to hold off Roa, and I'll do the rest. No matter what happens or how reckless the plan is, I'll cut a way through. She just needs to hold on. I arrive on the third floor. The deep gashes in the wall stretch down the hallway, all the way into to the passage that connects the school buildings. Forcing my stumbling feet to pick up the pace, I make a dash for the corridor. I reach the part where the hallway turns into the connecting passage. Finally, I've made it to the final battleground. There they are, in the corridor center. Two figures, keeping a careful distance. At the far end, I spy Roa, smug and in his element. Closer to me, in the corridor center, I see Arcade, kneeling on the floor, her breath in disarray. What is this? That's not the Arcade I know. Her body appears woven with dark threads. She's weak, on the verge of falling apart. Not a shadow remains of the beautiful moonlit flower I saw in the hotel. I run for her, not even taking a second to concern myself with Roa. This hallway might be laced with traps, but all that matters is that I get to her as fast as possible. However, before I can reach her, a spark cracks through the air. Still kneeling, Arcade assaults me with a terrible glare. I can't move? It's like my entire body turned to stone the instant I met her gaze.
死ぬ思いで駆けつけた仲間をまがんで束縛すると、共に死にたいという彼の忠義ぐらい受けてやってもいいだろう。
Roa sounds delighted by the circumstances. His mockery isn't intended for me, but for Arcade, who's still on the ground. Why would Arcade use those against me? Why, damn it? Why now, after I finally caught up to her? Arcade refuses to meet my eyes, instead turning back to Roa. She doesn't speak. She has nothing to say to me. Her pained gaze is reserved only for her greatest enemy. I can't even raise my voice. Her mystic eyes aren't to blame for that part. Thank you, Brocostelbot. I hope you have a good day. I will very much enjoy CL Root. She's very oomphy. Her mystic eyes aren't to blame for that part. Despite coming so far, this frustration at my own helplessness is extinguishing the fire that somehow kept my body moving.
いいぞ、ようやく覚悟を決めたな、姫君。全くもって静寂だ。何しろもう後がない。ここで私を仕留めなければ無残な死体は2つになるからな。それが嫌な最後の誇りを見せる。
Roa approaches Arquaid slowly, one unbothered step at a time. His shoulders, his abdomen, and his limbs are warped and torn with every step he takes. But never for more than a moment. His body recovers almost instantly, and not once does the damage break his stride.
しかし大したものだ少年。姫君はお前を逃がすために私と差し違えることにしたらしい。だがかつての姫君なら恐ろしくもあったが、今の君はただの吸血鬼だ。神祖としての力も十全に発揮できない。悲しいな。胸を裂くように悲しい。そして醜い。そこまでの無様を晒すのなら、いっそ欲望のままに落ちていればよかったもの。
黙れ。
Arquaid's voice rings through the corridor.
一時的な物理現象の書き換え、自然現象、空間にある熱量の自由操作、神祖が持つまさに創造の権能だ。いかな魔術を極めようと人間ではお前たちには遠く及ばない。しかし同時にお前たちも人間には直接干渉することはできない。繁栄し学習し独立し知恵ある猿として進化した人間はもうこの星とは違う分類だから。できることといえばこうして真空を作り上げ、だがこれでは足りない。加えて今の私はお前より優れている。私にあってお前にはないものがあるから。
Arquaid has stopped breathing. Peril cloaks her very being, like she's abandoning all of herself in a bid to gather strength.
わかるだろう。そう、死の実体験。私はそれを知っている。お前は知らない。それが私たちの決定的な差。生きている限り生物は死を体験し得ない。それを知りうる転生者たるこの私だけの特権だ。
The darkness writhing around Arquaid grows more pronounced. I have to stop her. Even if it means grabbing her and slapping her cheek, I have to stop her. If I don't, then...
人は未知を本能的に恐れる生物。それは超越者である神祖であろうと変わらない。しかし、いかに神秘を学ぼうと、どれほど長寿の生物がいようと、無に帰る罪。本質的な死を体験することはできない。お前たちは死を拒むことでその強大な力を得る。同時に弱さをも作り上げた。死を避ける貴様と死を受け入れた私。それがアルクエイド・ブリュンスタットとミハイル・ロア・バルダムヨンの質の違いだ。私は今も人として人の時代に生きている。時代から外れた亡霊に過ぎぬお前に私を罰する権利はない。
Crisp sound cuts through the hallway. The corridor's windows are being coded, overwritten by something else. Can Roa not see it? This enormous swell of power that not even death can penetrate.
それでも私に挑むというのなら止めはしない。身をもって1000年の代償を受けるがいい。その後、そうだな。 やはりこの体の目的をゆっくり果たすとしよう。
His mouth twists into a smile, a crescent moon of malice. Roa finally turns his gaze towards me. Those eyes foretell the delight he'll take in killing me, in sating the grudge of his flesh, of Shiki.
つまらない。交渉はそれで終わりか、ゲロ。
Arquade's surroundings are transfigured, as though she were recalling the planet's way of being, its atomic structure, etched deeply in its atmospheric memory.
確かに、私は堕落した。
But that doesn't matter. It isn't worthy of regret. She draws in a breath as though she were seeking to devour it.
消えろ。お前に私の士気は殺させない。
The world shifts. It takes on an appearance I've never seen before. That's a pretty big typo. Even outside of her universe, my body is constricted by an intense, unseeable pressure. I can't even begin to imagine how horrifying it must be for Roa, locked in its confines. Arquade solemnly raises her hand. My throat refuses to cooperate. Every part of me wants to scream that this is wrong. Sure, this will kill Roa, but at the same time, it'll all be over. She'll lose what little still remains inside of her. I know this too well, but I can't produce a single sound.
これが天体をなすもん。私のパンティオン。私を堕落させた原初の位置。祝福は間違ってはいなかった。私の理論は間違ってはいなかったのだ。
Cube. And with disgust emanating from her every movement, the woman in white expunges him like she were swatting a fly. When I open my eyes, Roa is no more. He was distorted, severed, and finally compressed. The corridor has returned to its former reality. It seems its phantasmal state was only momentary. The passage is the same as it ever was. Only Roa's feet remain. God damn it, this is going to be a perfect Cell situation, isn't it? And yet, the battle could never end so easily. The feet move. A wet sound echoes through the corridor as they wade across the sea of blood. And then, a revolting process unfolds. With every step, Roa is rebuilt. Ankle, thigh, back. His other leg sprouts forth, followed by his torso, and then his arms. My voice fails to reach her. Still kneeling on the floor, Arquade can't even lift her head anymore.
危ない危ない。やはり今夜を選んでおいて正解だったな。満月の中、足首からの蘇生などできはしない。そして姫君、お前はこの傷からは蘇生はできない。私の爪はそこにいる男と同じ能力だからな。
I can't move. I call out to her, but I'm too late. Roa, whole once more, slices through her stomach. It's effortless, like cutting a line. There's no tearing of flesh, no spilling of blood. She falls, and remains completely motionless on the cold floor.
これが死を体験した末に得た力だ。皮肉な話だが、私自身もこれの使い道はわからなかった。サンプルとして享受してくれたのは彼でね。何？コツさえつかめばどうということはない。幾度死を見てきた私にとって、物の死を読むことはそう難しくはないことだ。
Arrogantly boasting of his achievements, Roa kicks Arquaid in the side. The air crackles on impact, and she's sent flying my way. I can move. The effect of her mystic eyes must have worn off, meaning Arquaid's power is now completely spent. Shaking away the thought, I pull her into my arms. The instant I do, I'm met with a horrid revelation. Her body is unbelievably cold. What little heat remains feels like the flickering of a dying candle. I put my glasses back on, out of an instinctive fear. Roa is still here, right in front of us, but I don't care. All that matters to me now is saving Arquaid. I call for her. She opens her eyes slowly, as if stirred from a deep slumber.
かっこ悪いとこ見せちゃった。
She smiles at me. It's a faint smile, with a brightness that feels stitched together.
何バカなこと言ってるんだ。どうして。
My voice can barely make a sound. I wish I had the right words. I wish I knew what to say. But something's wrong with me. I can't even think right now. Arquaid's body is frigid in my arms, horrifyingly so. If I weren't wearing my glasses, I'd undoubtedly be witnessing something even more horrifying. And I really, really don't want to see that.
どうして。
All my mouth can inform is repetitive nonsense. My frustration at myself reaches a peak, and I pull Arquaid close, more tightly than ever before. But that won't put strength back into her veins. Not a sliver of energy remains within her. The only thing left is a contented smile on her face.
嘘だ。
This can't be happening.
どうしてこんな。どうして一人でこんなことするんだよ。俺たちは仲間だろ。協力するって、最後まで助けてやるって。
そっか、そういえばそうだったね。なんか忘れちゃった。
忘れるなよ、そんなこと。これじゃ俺は最低じゃないか。お前を助けるって言ったのに。ちゃんと助けるって言ったのに。ただ。
そんなことないよ、シキ。私あなたにいっぱい助けてもらったもの。だから助けてもらうのはもういいんだ。
He coughs weakly. Blood drips from the corner of her pained smile.
だからお礼にこれぐらいはしなくちゃって。ちょっと無理しちゃったけど、最後にロアからシキを守れてよかった。
My breath catches. Arcade can no longer see. She doesn't know about her wounds, or even that Roa is still alive. Her time stopped before that. From the moment she struck that final blow, that was the end for her. Stop. Please. Stop. I can't say a word. My throat is stuck and refuses to move. But I can't bear to rouse her from her dream.
ありがとう。助かっ
I'm losing my mind. I can barely force the lie out of my throat. Color is fading from her eyes. Her body temperature is fading to nothing. I'm losing her. I'm going to lose her forever.
アルクエイド。俺の血を飲め。そうすれば力が戻るんだろう。お前は。
Without a second thought, I shout my wish aloud. Arquate doesn't reply. She just shakes her head faintly. So faintly, I almost miss it.
なんでまだ怖いとか言ってるのか。いいからよく聞けよ。前に言ってたよな。もしも鳥や魚に自分と同じぐらいの知性があったら食べられるかって。俺は食うぞ。食わなきゃ生きていけないからな。生きるために奪うことは自然界じゃ当たり前のことなんだろう。
That's what you told me. So why? Why are you shaking your head with such pity in your eyes?
私もしもの話って好きじゃない。
She flatly refuses me, and the words she used were my own. Damn it. You told me you liked what ifs. You said you felt like there was salvation to be found in them.
そうか。俺は好きだぞ。たとえ詭弁っぽくてもさ。それなりにどこか救いがあるような気が。
Salvation you can find in them, I want to say. But I can't. My throat is trembling too much. I can hardly make a sound.
そうだったね。けど今はそれよりもっと欲しいものがあるんだ。
欲しいもの。いい。何でもしてやるから。言ってみろよ。
式にね、キスしてほしい。
What the hell? Are you really okay with something so simple? I bring my lips against hers. It's neither as sweet nor as soft as it was once upon a time. All it is her cold lips against mine. A kiss without warmth. But she smiles so happily, so honestly, once we're done.
よかった。憧れてたから、こういうの。
そっか。変なものに憧れてたんだな。
うん。なんだか嬉しい。たったそれだけのことなのに、すごく気持ちよかった。
Then don't.
このまま消えてなくなってもいいかなって思えちゃった。
He softly utters those words. With that, every bit of warmth leaves.
Arcade.
Well, we hit cry number 2. No reply. Though her body is right there. Though I still feel her softness in my embrace. I can still recall her voice, clear as day. But it's gone. I won't ever hear it again. What the hell did I do? I wanted to make her happy. I wanted to show her so many things. I wanted to take her to so many places. I wanted to be together with her forever. And now that wish will never be granted. Ugh. Damn it. How could she? She passed away abruptly without giving me the chance to say anything thoughtful. I'll never be able to forget this. Her death. This awful quiet feeling that threatens to drive me insane. For as long as I live, I will carry them with me. Footsteps. The man who'd observed us has resumed his approach.
終わったかね、式。
I gently lower what remains of the pale flower in my arms.
終わっちまった。
I lift my head to face her enemy. We face off in this moonlit corridor. Roa doesn't move. The fact that he saw fit to simply watch in silence is proof of his revolting confidence.
しかし、生きていたのは予想の外だったよ。
Roa speaks at me as if nothing happened. I take off my glasses and draw my knife.
死が見える人間というものは、死から逃れる術に長けているということだ。生命力の強い弱いの問題ではなく、まあ往生際が悪いとも言うがね。
We're both living pieces of filth. We failed to die when we were supposed to, and we've been half dead since.
死から帰ってきた者は死というものを理解できる。私と君はその中でもさらに特別な能力があったケースだ。私はこの極点に到達するまで16回もの死を体験してきたが、そちらはただの一度だけか。正直才能の違いだろうな。もしその体に転生していたらどれほどの異能になったのか興味深くはある。
He's so goddamn conceited. His smug voice grates on my ears, summoning another headache.
2つ聞くことがあって、1つだけ教えてやることがある。
Despite his headache filling up my cranium, I demand one final conversation with him.
ほう、いいだろう。言ってみたまえ。
His demeanor is one of absolute confidence, of a man who considers himself every bit my superior. This whole situation amuses him, which is good. The more he acts as though he's a person, a creature with intellect and a mind, the more I remember my rage. A scornful smile graces my lips now that I no longer have to adhere to it.
1つ目に聞くことが一番大事なんだけどさ。お前、なんでアルクエイドを殺した？
なぜもあるまい。自分の命が狙われているんだ。殺し返すのは当然だろう。もっとも、私が欲しかったものは弱りきった姫君ではなかったが、今回の私なら最高の状態に仕上げた彼女を解体できた。だというの。その機会は失われた。一回の吸血鬼と変わらぬ神素で手に入れても意味はない。よって価値がないと判断し始末をつけた。 こんな結果に終わったのは私にとっても残念だよ。
His lips are curled into a grin. My head hurts. Every muscle in me wants to move, to stop him from breathing. I can't stand the thought of him living even a second longer.
さて、それでこの後はどうする？まさかその体で私とやり合おうという腹でもあるまい。無様な抵抗ほど冷めるものはないぞ、殺人鬼。
He's telling me what I already know. My dizziness overtakes me, and I drop to my knees. I no longer possess the strength to stand up straight, but something draws my eye.
よせよせ。いくら私の死を見たところで触れられなければ意味はないし、その繊維は間違えている。
間違えている。
そうだ。君は私の敵にはなり得ない。性能の差を言っているのではない。殺害が可能か不可能かの例えでもない。君にはある一点において、私を敵にする心理が欠けている。
It's the first time his words have carried anything of value. Nothing he's ever said or will ever say was worth committing to memory, but just now it feels like his words contained a vital truth.
私は君の能力を高く買っている。どうも指揮としての人格は消えつつあるらしい。党の指揮への恨みを晴らした以上、今の私は指揮寄りではなく、ロア寄りということか。
He approaches. With every footstep, it's as if the contours of his form fade away. Is it an illusion? It must be. Reality couldn't just melt away like this, so it must be my vision that's fading. Rage and loathing towards him. Rage and loathing towards myself. My emotions mix, bubble, and boil, rattling the lid that just barely keeps them contained. Yes, somewhere beyond my rational thought, the cicada's cries of summer beckon. From this hollow shell I call a self, something gushes outward, something that must not be defined.
この力は素晴らしいだろう、指揮。喜んでいい。直視の魔眼を所持できる者は私たちぐらいのものだ。その希少能力をなくしてしまうのは惜しく、何より我々は同じもの。誰よりも互いを理解できるだろう。パートナーとして、これほど心強い者はいまい。
仲間になれと言って。
まさか仲間にしてやるんだよ、この私がな。安心しろ。その血を吸い上げ、魂まで略奪した後。
The distance between us doesn't matter. As long as he's in front of me, it'll be fine. As long as I'm still alive, it'll be
あ
fine.
と一つ。お前に見えているものは生き物だけの話だな。
当然だろう。生物でなければ命はない。命の源である箇所は生き物にしかありえまい。
やっぱりガテンが言ったよ、吸血鬼。
I squeeze my knife in my hand. All of me freezes over, from my extremities to my heart. My brain knows only agony. But it isn't enough. It's not anywhere near enough. I go further. There's no cause for hesitation. The woman who would have rebuked me has already left this world.
腑に落ちんな。最後の言葉にしては不相応だ。まあいい。おしゃべりは終わりにしよう。どこぞに隠れている教会の女の始末もある。喜べよ、指揮。私のしもべにした後の最初の相手を頼りにしているあの女だ。
That's the kind of provocation I was waiting for. I'll give him exactly what he wants. No morality, sensibility remains. I can't recall any prospects, forms. The flesh that formed my being has rotted away. That which claimed to be me is now lost. I don't know what it means to be human anymore. Oh. The man halts suddenly, his face frozen. His body, which has lost its basis for living, is still as an unborn fetus.
なんだこれ
His world is unchanged. He experiences no shortcomings. There's nothing he could have sensed, nothing that could offer some threat.
なぜ私の足が震えている
But that's the precise source of the terror of it in his eyes.
俺とお前が見ているものは違うよ、吸血鬼。
My body feels like it's set ablaze.
お前は命を見ているだけだ。死を理解していない。だから俺も殺せず、弱りきった女しか殺せない。
My brain is white hot.
死が見えているのは正気でなんかいられない。お前にわかるのは物を生かしている部分だけど、死が見えるのならとても立ってなんていられない。
It's like the surface of the moon, a wasteland of extinction. To see the death of things is to be tossed into a vague, fragile world, a world where there's no ground below, where even the sky appears frail, as if it will fall at any moment.
何のことを言っている貴様
Roa wavers with every word. That's only fair. He can't comprehend a single thing I'm saying. There's only one explanation. Our eyes may be similar, but they're entirely distinct.
やめろその目で私を見るな
Fear is mixed in with his voice. Roa summarized it so aptly before. People instinctively fear the unknown.
1秒先にも世界すべてが死んでしまいそうな錯覚をお前は知らない。それが死を見るということだ。この目は得意げに語れるものじゃない。
There was a time when I was afraid to even walk around. If it weren't for her, I would have lost my mind a long time
そ
ago.
れがお前の勘違いだ、吸血鬼。命と死は背中合わせでいるだけで、永遠に顔を合わせることはないものだ。
その目で私を見るなと言っている
His footfalls close in, but his lightning speed from before is gone. The price he paid for using too much of his power on Arquaid. In that case, there's no need to affirm my theory any further.
教えてやる。これが物を殺すということだ。
This single stab is many times cleaner. A moment later, the corridor groans in agony as it collapses beneath our feet. Roa's screams are drowned out by the cacophony of crumbling concrete. The corridor was killed. Devoid of meaning and purpose, it disintegrated into nothing. Caught within the passage's collapse, Roa fell, crushed by the debris. Unnatural destruction. The corridor, which stretched between me and the other building, is the only part that collapsed, as though it was made of a different material. Ignoring the cries of my aching head and freezing body, I descend the stairs. I survey the scene beneath the moonlight. What was once the courtyard is now a sea of rubble. And at its very center, something disturbs the surface. He really is filth. Though I'm on the verge of collapsing, I climb the rubble. Roa's lower body is gone, erased. It doesn't even regenerate. It's as if that part of him was decreed by destiny to no longer exist. But his upper half, having dragged itself out of the rubble, is still as functional as ever. If nothing else, I have to respect his perseverance, his willingness to cling to life. The monster sloshes around in a sea of his own blood. Will he recover? It's looking like it. What a quick adaptation. If neither resurrection nor regeneration can be a service to him, he'll simply create what he needs. It's a remarkably vampiric approach. In a few moments, I'm sure he'll have crafted an adequate replacement for his lower body. I step over the rubble towards my target. The monster looks up and stares at me. Its eyes are filled with a malice so pure, so dense, it looks ready to overflow. Its voice drips with loathing. From its severed waist, a new lower half rapidly starts to coagulate. The blood that covered the rubble with a thick crimson film reverses its course, flowing inward like a video on rewind. I mutter a response as I relax my right hand. The thing's point is a little to the right of its heart. I thrust, and the blade sinks smoothly into his chest. It's like stabbing through paper, this insipid, unexceptional sensation of death. Ah, that's all it can say in response. But this man has already experienced death plenty of times in one form or another. He knows what this sensation means better than anyone.
お前にとっては馴染んだ道だ。違うところがあるとすれば、一つだけ。今度は帰ってこられない。
I withdraw the knife and turn around. Its life has already ended. A quick and easy death, even simpler than closing one's eyes. I'm dazed. My body may be at its limit, but my mind is even past that. Arquaid mentioned something about this, that I shouldn't look at death for too long, that if I push myself, the blood vessels in my brain will rupture and burn out. None of that matters to me. If this is how things were going to play out, if I were okay with winding up broken, I should have finished Roa faster. If I had, then maybe. She might still. I collapse face down on the ground. There's a pain in my ankle. When I turn to look, I see it. A monster dragging itself forward with only its right arm. Squirming, writhing, he climbs atop my fallen body. His bloodied hand wraps around my neck and squeezes. A maw of jagged teeth opens and reaches for my throat. Fangs meet flesh. They pierce the fragile skin of my neck. Then, he's gone. In a single moment, Roa is sliced into 1,000 pieces. Before me stands Ciel, her blades in hand. She's alive and well, albeit short of breath. I'm not really following her here.
ですから、ロアを殺したのは私です。その功績も責任もすべて私にあります。なので、遠野くんは手ぶらで何もできなかったといじけて帰っちゃってください。
Ciel smugly puts a hand on her hip to punctuate her words. She's so unfair. Just when I thought I'd never smile again, she forced one out of me.
先輩それ詭弁だよ。
詭弁でしょうか。でも優しい嘘ならそれもいいと思います。たとえ偽善でもなんとなく救いがありそうじゃないですか。
It's not the first time I've heard words like that. They sound a lot like what someone said when I told her I hate what ifs.
そうだね。なんとなくどこか救いが残っているのかもしれないなら。
How happy that would be.
今は体の問題が先でした。大丈夫ですか、遠野くん。噛まれませんでした？
Ciel quickly lowers herself to examine my fallen body. My consciousness is slipping. My brain wants to rest. It doesn't want to keep thinking.
遠野くんってば。
Her voice fades into the distance. Remorse, regret, the headache carving into my brain, the warmth lingering on my palms. All of them fade away into nothingness, like a fever cooling after a long night. I remember looking up at a moon like this once, long ago. Though my eyes stay open, my mind shuts down, like someone switched off a monitor.